Hello, everybody. It's Rosie here. Welcome back. Hopefully, baby. So if you weren't here for part one, about 2 weeks ago, I made a video where I ranted into a microphone for 20 minutes over a Google Slides presentation about pride flags, and that video blew up. It has so many more views than I thought it was gonna get. It's got like 60,000 views already, which is a lot for my channel. And you are all absurd flag nerds, and I love you. You truly are my people. But over the last 2 weeks, in that comment section, I've gotten so many incredible comments and conversations and suggestions and just ideas for how to tweak or update some of my flag designs in a way that are so good and so inspired. And I wanted just to make a part two. One, because apparently y'all will watch my flag videos, which is hilarious and great. And two, because I think some of the updated designs are better than the ones in part one. So if you haven't seen part one, go watch it. Apparently it's very good. Apparently people like it. But I talk a lot about kind of why and the kind of philosophy behind some of these changes. And it's just some good background, I guess. But here's the short version. I believe that flags can do a lot of work very quickly if they have a good coherent design language. Mostly in that flags can both communicate some diversity and uniqueness, while also, if they are kind of existing within a coherent visual language, they can also convey community and shared culture and shared history with other flags. We have some great real world examples right here, but I feel like the pride flags at the moment don't do this too much. The pride flags do all basically have horizontal stripes of color, and that's it. They're all kind of riffing on the rainbow flag, but there's no unity in how many flags or what colors or other kind of design choices that would convey um, both community and diversity. And so I wanted to tweak some of the flags to sort of follow that design goal. Um, Caveats: I'm not a graphic designer. This is literally Google Slides. I just have a lot of opinions. And two, this is for fun. It's for fun. If some of y'all like the flags a lot, though, I don't know, maybe change them. But we're just having a good time here. So let's jump right in. The most commented on change in that whole video was definitely this one. The change to the aromantic flag. So I love the ace and the arrow flags. I think they're both really nice color palettes, but it bugs me that they don't visually match more. The fact that they're so close to matching, but they have different numbers of stripes and different numbers of colors drives me a little bit nuts. Especially since it would be such an easy change to make, and their gray and demi versions do match in this very nice visual kind of conversation way. So this is the change that I had originally made in part one, where I simplified the greens and made them in the same order as the ace flag, so they look all matchy and nice. And I do think that this looks nice, but some geniuses in the comments, and I do mean that, had some really good ideas for how to make this design even better. The first and obviously brilliant, obvious, why didn't I think of it, change would be to keep the order of the colors from the original aromantic flag. There's some interesting kind of visual symbolism in keeping the green on top, keeping the color orders as they are, but still simplifying it so the number of stripes matches the ace flag. I like this a lot. This is such a small change, but I think it's a really good one. And I would honestly love to see this like in real life go into effect. I think that's excellent. Another very common suggestion that I got was to keep the arrow flag as it is, and make the ace flag match it by adding an extra stripe of purple. I've got to say, visually on a computer screen, I think this does look very cool. I'm a little hesitant for two reasons. One, I feel like I see the ace flag in the wild more and more these days, and less so with the arrow flag. And so that just makes the arrow flag easier to actually change. But secondly, having two shades of the same color on a flag can pose a very unique problem to people who make physical arts and crafts with the pride colors. If you are working with markers or crayons or beads or yarn, having to color match multiple shades of the same color can be a nightmare. So, an example that I have to deal with, I do a lot of like physical art and stuff. There are two versions of the lesbian flag and the gay flag. There's the 7 stripe and the 5 stripe. I will always use the 5 stripe versions because if I'm doing art, I might have two different shades of orange marker or two different shades of orange crayon or two different shades of orange beads, but not three distinct shades that are this sort of gradient. It's much harder to do physical art with this kind of gradient. And so for that reason, just practically, I think that the 4 stripe version is maybe a better choice for that. But they both look very cool. So, you know, they're great. Moving on, I owe a slight apology to a member of the bi umbrella gang. When I was talking about the bi flag, the pan flag, and the polysexual flag, I did not mention the Omni Flag. Partly, and I'm going to be honest, I kind of forgot to mention y'all, and I apologize. Secondly, because the Omni Flag is interesting in that it's clearly talking to the bi flag with the pink and the blue and the purple, but it does 5 stripes and not 3. So it just visually looks pretty different. But I also wouldn't want to make it just 3 stripes. I think that would just make it a weird color version of the bi flag. So my only change here would be maybe narrow that middle stripe so that, like the other flags, the middle stripe is narrower. And then it's good enough. It looks great. I did consider color matching the purple. That looks bad. Don't do that. Keep it like that. But yeah, I'm sorry, Omni friends. Your flag is very nice. Also, not like a tweak that I would make, but just several people pointed out this is the polyamorous flag from the 90s, and I used it as an example of putting symbols on the flags instead of just stripes of color. People have pointed out that this is like the old polyamory flag, and there are many alternatives that are all fighting for purchase online. And I've got to say, these are all lovely. I think this one's my favorite just because I like this shade of red. I think this shade of red still reads as red, whereas this one kind of gets pink. But these are all very, very nice. And they all use symbols that aren't just stripes of color. So great work, polyamory folks. I hope y'all settle on a flag. You have so many good options. But let's get to the fun stuff. My nemesis, the gender fluid flag, my least favorite pride flag because I don't like the color palette and I think it has too many different colors on it. It's 5 colors and it drives me a little bit crazy. So, in part 1, my original kind of design philosophy for all of the non-cisgender flags was to use the trans flag as a kind of template and go with this idea of lateral symmetry, of mirroring the flags. Which some of the designs came out really, really cool. And then hilariously, because the gender fluid flag has 5 different colors, to get lateral symmetry, you end up with a 9-stripe flag, which is hilarious. I do like this. I do think that this kind of fading palette does look very, very nice. I had many commenters point out that the magenta being in the center of the flag has some symbolic meaning if you look at how the flag was originally designed. And I think that's very valid. And also, it does look good. If you just swap the colors around and put that magenta back in the middle, I actually kind of really like that. I feel like it not being right next to the other shade of pink is nice. And also, so this is the original unchanged agender flag, and this is my redesigned non-binary flag to make it match. This also matches. It's got a color stripe in the middle and black on top and bottom. So even though it's more stripes, it's it's so many stripes. I still think it looks really nice, and it's clearly in conversation with these other flags. So I really do like this. Here it is with the purples matched. This is the redesigned genderqueer flag with lateral symmetry, also with the purples to match. And this is a nice set. I do really like this. We talked about how we could add symbols to the flags. My examples were things like chevrons or a ring or a heart. And so many people in the comments are so funny and wanted to take whales as an inspiration and put a dragon on the flag. And I love them. I love them so much, actually. I think it's really, really good. Um, I would buy any of these and fly them proudly. They're so good. Um, I'd also talked about pulling the white out of the flags and then adding it back in as a design element. This is how it looked with the chevrons. I also put up rings and hearts and stuff. But I think we can go with the dragon design here, right? Let the dragon be the white element in these flags. I think is so good, actually. Um, Wonderful. The last variation for the gender fluid flag, so many people pointed out that the flags don't have to be straight lines. In fact, it's a little bit ironic that they are straight. And that especially with the gender fluid flag, they could be wavy lines. They could be wavy lines because they're fluid. Guys, I'm using I'm using Google Slides. Like literally these flags are made by I insert a table with however many stripes I want and then just color fill the table. Do you know how hard it is to make wavy lines on Google? I spent an hour on this. It's it's a masterpiece. It is my the work of my life is this gender fluid flag, and it is my favorite thing I've ever made, and I want one. This is where we started, and this is where we are now. The ultimate Super Saiyan form of the gender fluid flag. Congratulations, team. We did it together. Um, but in all seriousness, this has been a really fun video to make. Along with the last one, the comment section has been actually really fun to engage with. Y'all are so funny and so thoughtful about flag design. Um, I do, I do honestly really think that this is a good change for the arrow flag. And I don't know, if someone would make me one of these and send it to me, I'd put that on everything. I'd make that a sticker. I'd make that a magnet. I think that's incredible. Um, Thank you all so much. Maybe this comment section will also be filled with brilliant ideas, and I'll make a part 3 in 2 weeks. Who knows? Maybe this is my life now. But thank you so much for watching.